It's time for yet another weekly Q&A session, and if you're wondering what this is or where this is coming from, this is essentially the same setup as our typical live streams on this channel during the week. However, it is of course pre-recorded, and we're going to be fielding questions from the Discord community here and also YouTube community over here. I do want to let you know that if you want to contribute to this, if you want to essentially, post whatever question that you might be having, you can join for free in the link in the description below to Discord, and then all you got to do is just find your way over to the K video content section and go to the most recent posting, of which I've just done the newest one just now for this upcoming week. Anyways, also before we get into it, before we actually proceed, I should let you know that we still have our sale going on with the code Elsa in all capitals, because it was her birthday a couple days ago, but now it is not, and the sale is actually going to be over in just a day here as well. The code will get you 20% off of any one of the programs or services in the Teachable School in the link in the description below. And actually, the Quant Prime service is not just 20% off, it's 25% off applied to the lifetime of whatever subscription that you might be having there, even the annual one, which is already quite reduced. If you're looking to, create, test, and automate your trades, of course. Anyways, let's actually start this off with a very, very short Bitcoin analysis. Overall, yesterday we were looking for Bitcoin to likely come back down somewhere around this week's lows and last week's lows as well, I suppose. And we have just about seen that move here, as Bitcoin did head down to about 93,300 on that last little wick to the downside. Overall, this is still shaping up to be a more bearish structure here, obviously, as all medium-term timeframes have shifted into downtrends. Even the daily time frame is showing its own downtrend here as well, although I would say this potential, this prospective lower high right here probably will not hold long term. Well, I mean, long term, obviously not, or very, very unlikely not. But but even in the short term, I wouldn't be looking at this like as anything really, significant. The only way that I look for Bitcoin to carry on with the overall mega rally, which, at some point I do believe that it will. Don't think that the bull market's over just yet, but I wouldn't be even entertaining that possibility as long as Bitcoin is below 105,000 US highly inflated dollars. As long as it's below there, risk still does remain lower. And, you do have your herp and derp here as well, your head and shoulders. I don't think, the full target of that will play out, but could easily see Bitcoin breaking down into the, let's say, upper 80s, maybe over this next week or two. Probably not until 2025 begins, actually. But as of right now, yeah, still corrective here. And risk does still remain to the downside. I think the 2-day time frame really accurately summarizes this. All right, cool. But I should also say, in the short term, does Bitcoin bounce off of these lows again? Probably yes, but be mindful of lower highs. Anything below 98,000 bucks is going to be considered a lower high and likely set it up for an actual extension of that breakdown. All right, again, long term, I do think that is an opportunity. All right, let's first, as always, start off with our YouTube member section right here. This is the priority for these. For the rest of them, for the rest of Discord, we'll get to as many as we can within about 45 minutes to an hour, but I will prioritize these ones. And if you want to join in for the priority group, it is with the join button on the YouTube link. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. I think so. Anyways, okay. So we have the usual suspects. We'll start off with Cousin Burley. He is saying happy holidays. It's Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Just kidding. Happy holidays, fine too. Would love your thoughts on C limited ticker symbol SE daily and weekly. Okay, let's check it out. This is a real stock, and well, I want to look at the long term first. Already hate this chart. Yes, it is on a reversal here, but long term, it's just hard to love anything that ever looks like this. Since 2021, it's been straight down, and during the last couple of years when most of the regular markets were just pretty much vertical, this thing has been clinging onto the lows. Anyways, let me just double check on exactly what time frame is looking at. Yeah, daily and weekly time frame. Weekly time frame does look like it has reached a short-term top right here. But the uptrend is intact. If this thing came back down about 100 or 101, set in a higher low, that's completely fine. Looking at the daily time frame, we do see that short term, probably gets another try to the upside, but I'd be very cognizant that any sort of rejection below about 115, 116 is likely to lead towards that next short-term move to the downside. But again, this would be a higher low anywhere around $100. And I expect that this thing, could trade up over the next, I don't know, maybe over the next year, 6 months to a year, perhaps at around, well, that's a little bit too crazy. Hold on. Am I on a regular scale? I am on a regular scale. Maybe like 150 seems kind of a lot there. But again, I would get massively bearish on this below your November lows, which was about $93. That's where this starts to fall apart yet again. All right, cool. Now let's go into the next one. Arms Private says, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, sir. How is life? Life is pretty cool right now. Right now, Elsa has found this game called Super Mario Kart, I should say. And she's been playing that, and you can actually play 2-player, and it's been really, really fun to play at night for both of us. Kind of wind down the day and chill out. Anyways, can you look at AIOZ and Total 3? Okay, let's check these out. AIOZ. Okay. See, did you give any time frames? Are they more likely bottomed? Oh God, this is always a terrible question. Yeah, is this one it's bottomed from, of course, your 2023 lows, but I don't think that's probably what you're asking. I'm guessing you're asking, is it bottomed over here? I would say probably not. No. Now, short term, can it bounce? Sure. But just like kind of the last chart that we looked at, as long as this thing's below about $1 to 105, I'd be expecting this thing to come down actually further, maybe closer to like 65, 66 cents. So no, I don't think that it's bottomed right here. I'd look at most things in limbo, especially as Bitcoin is still, showing at minimum a consolidation and a little bit more is showing weakness, honestly. But yeah, looking at this thing, I do expect that it will come a little bit lower, maybe below 70 cents. That's the next sort of area that I look for on a major low. If you're asking me to project price action months out, you already know better than this because there's no way for me to really do this. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know is the most obvious answer. If you take out the highs of December, then I guess the next major area of interest is going to be close to $2, but that's a big fucking if. I'm making a humongous assumption right there. There's just no way for me to really know this, especially for something that's more or less in consolidation here on kind of the medium and short term. I guess I can again pull up some areas of interest. Yeah, $1.50, and then you got actually 177 would be my two areas of interest. Don't know when those happen. Don't know if they're going to happen at all. That's essentially assuming that this one does take out again the current highs. Until that happens, very weak. Well, I shouldn't say very weak. I mean, it is having a weekly uptrend there, but weak compared to most things in this market. I mean, if your favorite shitcoin has not even gotten close to the prior all-time high, despite 2023 and 2024 being fucking vertical for most things, it's not a good fucking sign. It's really not a good sign. Total 3. Sure, we can look at that as well. It's total market cap of everything, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the dollar and dollar derivatives, I believe. Has this bottomed? No. Pretty obviously no. Similar to the last few ones, as long as this thing's below about 105 trillion with a T. Sorry, I'd even make that 1.1 trillion. Honestly, I'd be expecting this correction to continue onwards and forwards here. It's still in a downtrend, even on the daily time frame. I mean, that's like until you even get a reversal on the daily, there's nothing moderately close to a bottom. It doesn't mean that it can't happen from here, but even for the short term to confirm this is a local low, you need to see this thing trade above 101 trillion. So, in the short term, it's just not there. It's more poised for further downside, probably retesting the lows at around 850 billion. So, maybe it tests those lows, maybe it goes a little bit lower, but that's kind of the area that I'd be looking for on a potential higher low for this thing. That'd essentially be the weekly 21 exponential average as well, plus this prior high here from March. So, a perspective area, but a lot remains to be seen on this one. Again, this is going to take some time for this thing. As far as projecting targets for the next 1 to 2 months, it's probably going to be consolidation mostly. If and when it does break the highs, then you already hit the 114 trillion target, so I guess 137 will be the next major one. Fair enough. All right, let's move on. We have iSky Ski. That is a fucking mouthful, man. What's up, Crown? How you doing, sir? Ben, following since 2021. Awesome. Never miss a video. That's right. I'm kidding. It's all good. You can miss some videos. It's not the end of the world. Token unlocks releases happen a lot in crypto, inflating the token and dramatically increasing the circulating supply, and therefore the market cap. To me, it makes sense to look for exit targets based on market cap, since it accurately compares the token across the years. Can you pull a fib? Okay, it's just a statement. And then, can you pull a fib from previous all-time high to low and compare extensions on the weekly for? I mean, you can do this. It sounds like you already know how to do it. So why not? But sure, I mean, I can do it for you, I guess. And let me just double check exactly what you were saying. Can you pull a fib from the previous all-time high to low? Okay, well, I guess. Let's see. Pretty nice rally here. I would use closures in this particular instance. Major areas of interest are going to be 50 cents if this thing does take out the current highs, which I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. I think that this one's in for prolonged consolidation here, probably coming back down to like 22 cents first, and trying for a higher low there. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I mean, looking at the weekly, that is pretty good. But if and when it does reclaim these highs, 50 cents, and then you got 62, 63 cents would be the next major areas of interest. Looks like the LARP lines here were correct, but a little bit too conservative in timing, in the timing aspect. But yeah, I'd give it a chance to trade sideways here for a while. Again, coming back down to 22 cents would not be out of the question at all. I'd much prefer to see a higher low there than where it currently is at, but I guess theoretically could bottom where it currently is at as well. All right. Can you look at the market cap for HBAR? I don't believe so, because I don't think that TradingView hosts that. And to be honest, I kind of disagree with your statement as well. In terms of the value of looking at market cap, the price is always going to be the most applicable to, well, what you actually are making. And thus it is the most straightforward comparison. I get what you're saying with market cap. But, understand the market cap is actually, it's really not a good metric, or I shouldn't say that's not a good metric. It's just not an accurate metric, because remember what the market cap is. It is the circulating supply multiplied by literally just the last price. That's it. That can be highly manipulated, and you can imagine scenarios where market cap was added, market cap grew significantly, but not really anything has happened. With the underline. Anyways, let's move on now to some Discord action. We'll go to the second to latest one. Here we have December 22, and I'll start it off from top to bottom. We have Big Bob's Meat Stick first. He's looking at super, daily, and weekly. Okay, have this one on my list right here. I'm actually curious to see what this one looks like monthly. Holy shit, that is a hell of a monthly. Would really like to see this one close above the 160 high right here by end of month. It's got 3.5 days left to do that. If it does that, overall mega rally is still intact and still, upside angled, probably looking at around, I don't know, $2.5, $3. But if Bitcoin, if super does close below there, you have to be entertaining the significantly higher probability of a prolonged sideways and downside consolidation. So, again, let's run with this assumption that it does not close above 160. Could spend some time bouncing here, fail that bounce, come down. I'd be looking at around $1 to $1.15 for a next higher low, and then maybe it tries for another rally from there. If it bottoms out where it currently is at, I mean, you're obviously going to see Bitcoin hold its current lows, or essentially its current lows, and work its way back up, and you'll know that things are looking good on this current consolidation. If it does, oh Jesus, too many lines here. All right, let's just go one line. If it does break and close above $2 on a daily time frame, if you see that, consolidation over, get ready for much higher prices. If that, especially if this thing closed above, if this thing closed above there by end of month, that would look really, 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 really good. Until then, though, I would really prioritize a prolonged consolidation here rather than anything else. But to be fair for this thing, even though it did have a pretty disastrous move right here, this was from top to bottom a 45% retracement, no crash. It still actually has a higher low, to be fair. It has not made lower lows just yet. Now, if it comes back down below this 147 low and close below there, then yeah, you got a lower low. And at that point, you're probably looking somewhere between $1 to 115. I'd look for a bottom there. But for right now, I guess compared to a lot of other things, it's actually, at least still an uptrend here, which is kind of crazy. Anyways, let's move on now. And we have M. Actually, I'm going to disable this so I can see exactly who these is. Mr. Chapter says, hello, Crown. Thanks for doing this. All good, man. I've actually been really enjoying them. Watch and love your channel since 2021. Fuck yeah, dude. 4 hour and daily on HBAR. I think we literally just looked at that, so I won't go through the higher term timeframes, but maybe the lower term timeframes, the 4 hour we can do. Trading range going on right here. Where's the highs? Your highs are coming in here. Where's your lows? Lows coming in here. You're about in the middle of the range. Short term might have a little bit of a short term pop, let's say, but I do think it's going to at some point retest around the bottom side of this range. 23, 24, 25 cents, something like that. I don't know if I really have strong opinions on whether it's going to break or not, but I would be looking likely for something like this. Obviously above 33 and a half cents, this thing, rallies to, I don't know, was this thing already on all-time highs? Just continue on with this mega rally here. Anyways, moving on, we have Arctic Swell, breakdown targets of BTC. What? Breakdown targets. Like if it breaks down, what would the targets be? I think we've gone over this on videos quite a bit. There's a few areas of interest to the downside. Obviously, we still have essentially the lows of this week. It did get very, very close there, so you might say that target was already met, but I'd still say, this thing probably does get a wick a little bit closer to the 55 exponential moving average here, which is $92,500. Probably a short-term try for a bounce there, but if you do see it break below there, just make it, and of course, we can make this like significantly more complicated analysis, but I'll use simple tools right here. But if Bitcoin does break below about that 55, which is $92,500, your next area of interest is going to be about 88. Then you got 86-ish. And then below there, you got 81. So a lot of things to be aware of. Of course, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be talking about this gap on CME over here from November, which there is indeed a gap between about 78 to 79,000, or sorry, 78 to 80,000 bucks. I am personally I am personally thinking, I don't think that this is going to be filled here. I think it's more likely to be front round. One, a lot of people are looking at it, and two, this was essentially the breakout. This was like the major macro confirmation of a breakout, and those gaps typically don't get filled anytime soon. They do get filled over time. That could be 12 months, 6 or 18 months. It can be a long time, but while they are likely to get filled, typically it does take a lot longer. I think there's a good example from 2020. Yeah, there is. There is a major gap, or there's a couple major gaps along the way when it was getting ready to break the prior all-time high. And you can see that, these areas here at $19,000 and also $25,000. Yeah, they were retested, but that was literally actually a couple of years later. Yeah, back on over here in 22 is when you start to see these retested. So, and I don't even know how much it even matters at that point anyways, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm not really looking for this to be filled. So my main targets would be 88, 86, and then maybe all the way down to like 81. Even that I think is a little bit of a stretch. So yeah. All right. Let's move on. We have RCV. He says, hey, Crown, HODL, Soul Strategies Incorporated. Okay. I think this is maybe trades on like real markets. Yeah. Oh, it's a Canadian stock. So it's basically shitcoin, but a pretty good shitcoin, at least in the short term. Looking at the weekly. Yep. Even better. Looking at the monthly, even better. Anyways, you are just okay on the daily. I just see a continuation of trend bound. Another higher low right here. I think this one retests, around that $3 high, probably just makes new highs from there. Technically would like to see it close above $3 before I start to say, hey, it's likely to trade up towards like $3.50, $4. But not bad. Nothing bearish about this as long as you're above last Friday's low, which was 197. As long as you're above 197, the trend remains intact to the upside, and all pullbacks are just higher lows before further continuation. All right. Daga DT says, hello, Zer. Unicorn fart dust on the hourly. Oh, God. What have you... Okay, I'm not going to click on this link. Not that I don't trust you, but I just don't click on links. I will type it in on TradingView, and as always, if TradingView has it, we will look at it. If TradingView does not, unicorn fart dust. It's actually right there. On Poloniex, and this is a new one. Never seen that one. Okay. Seems to be... yet another meme. It seems, I think if you're trying to play memes now, you probably missed the boat, honestly. That narrative was so 2024. That memes are so 2024. I don't have an opinion on this, man. It's way too fucking new. Probably garbage. I mean, it is likely garbage, but like it's been around for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days on Poloniex. I don't have an analysis on this, man. Maybe it gets a massive pump, maybe it gets a massive dump. Who the fuck knows? No way for me to know on that one. Crypto Rect says, Sir Crown, can you please review it? EMP on daily, weekly. Okay, symbol EMP. Okay, it's a new one for me. I've never seen this thing before. Okay, terrible, and it's been around for a long time too. Well. Yeah, actually a couple years, 2, 3 years now. And it only goes down. It only goes down, and it only goes down even more. And that means that we must press the button.
Nuclear launch detected.
Isn't she beautiful? Oh yeah, terrible chart. Worst one of the day thus far. Absolute garbage, sir. Just the word, like... When you see something like this that literally only goes down for years and years and years, it's not fucking good. There are other things that are more worthy of your attention, sir. Doesn't mean that you can't get, nice pops here and there. This thing could rally up all the way to, I mean, I don't even think this is probably not even likely to happen, but could rally all the way up to the 55 here. That'd be a 300% move. But still, the long-term trend remains down. Just garbage. Absolute garbage, man. Again, I'm not calling you garbage, but that chart, absolute fucking garbage. Just terrible. Ham3A says, hey, Crown, what is your outlook on strong altcoins in Q1 2025? I think they do very, very well. The reason why I think they do very, very well is because Bitcoin dominance is putting in a high right here. And while most altcoins are actually not looking that strong, the strong ones are picking up the slack on behalf of all of the shitty altcoins. And there's several things that I've seen that are making new all-time highs even today. So those things I think just get more and more strong during Q1. The rest of the pack, they might get, small pops here and there versus their US dollar pairs, but I don't think that they're not going to be carrying their own weight. They're going to be, it's massively held up by, a small component of shitcoins rather than the whole, shitcoin market, let's say, which is what we've seen in past alt season markets, which I fucking hate. Because it's, why do I hate alt season? I hate alt season because it just attracts the most dumb of the dumb. I'm sorry, it really does. It really does. And then people just people use alt season as like this heaven to look forward to in the future, where if you time it right and you just invest in any shitcoin at all, you'll be making millions, quadrillions. This is really, I think, residue from 2017 where that was true, but we have not actually seen that since 2017, where everything in their mother goes to the moon and beyond. In 2021, most things went to the moon. As far as altcoins go, especially the newer ones, the older ones did not. In this cycle thus far, we've seen most of the older shitcoins do absolutely fuck all. Most of them hanging on to lows. Some of them, like the last one that we just saw, making new lows. I mean, it seems to me that there's no longer a real alt season the way that people look at it. There are strong alts that do incredibly fucking well, and then there's everything else. Anyways, Rect Ops GM Crown, much love and happy holidays to you and Elsa. Thank you, sir. What do you think of crypto options? I think they would be absolutely amazing if they were liquid, but as of right now, there's not really. It's getting better every year. I mean, especially it's like light years ahead of where it was when I was trading them in 2018, in 2020. But still, you know, it leaves a lot to be desired. Like if you want to be very active trading options for Bitcoin, it's gonna be like you're going to get fucked at some point. They're just not that liquid, especially when you need them to be liquid. And that's for Bitcoin. Anything not named Bitcoin is just like fucking forget it. In terms of options, just there's very little interest there. But I do think that with, of course, the BlackRock ETF and even the futures options as well, you know, that is obviously a step in the right direction, and it's only going to get, you know, better from here. So I do suspect that over the next year or two, those are going to become very viable, actually. And if you want to trade options, it's actually going to be best to do it probably on the BlackRock ETF if I had to choose. But we'll see. Time will tell on that one. BTSTRM says, good morning, kind sir. Good morning to you as well, sir. Thank you for telling me last week I will be poor this Christmas. That's right. We're all going to be poor this Christmas. I told my wife she won't be getting any presents soon. Well, that's because she hasn't worked for it. And she will be getting dumped. Dump me like a shitcoin, baby. Will I also be poor judging how from how INJ looks on the monthly? Let's see. Well, it really depends about how much money you started off with and where you invested in this highly esteemed piece of crypto technology. No, I mean, look, at least it's a 2021 shitcoin that has made new highs in this cycle. It's a good sign overall. Now, is it going to be going to the moon anytime soon? No, I think that generally these LARP lines are still going to play out here. You're going to be ranging probably closer around these lows, maybe as low as $15, you know, over the next few months, and then probably does try an upside move. I don't know, maybe late this coming year or around second half of this coming year. But for now, you know, I mean, I think this is what most shitcoins look like. This is not really a shitcoin, obviously, because, you know, it has done decently. But, you know, a lot of them had these tremendous rallies in early December. They've pretty much coughed up the whole rally, and I'd be looking for them to kind of trade a little bit closer to these lows first. I don't think they're going to break down, most of them. This one probably doesn't break down, but I'd be looking for higher lows, you know, closer to like 15, 16, maybe $17. But, you know, take its time and work its way sideways, kind of what I'm thinking there, as I am for most of these altcoins, or at least in general. Anyways, okay. And best wishes to you as well going into 2025. It's a new year and new me. Lucifer Satan 69. Holy shit, man. It's been a long time indeed. Hope all is well, sir. Yeah, the Twitch streams are fun. Any plans to go back to it? Fuck. Like I daydream about it sometimes, and I still play games, but now the issue is that my computer / workroom is in its own room. And then, you know, usually when it's gaming time, and that's like later on in the evening, and I like to be in the living room, you know, a completely different room. And from there, you know, getting all the setups and everything is just not easy to do, unfortunately. But I'm thinking the next place that I get, I actually want to have my workroom in the living room as well, because it does make those streams much easier, and it also just makes my workflow better as well, because, you know, if I always have a computer in front of my face, I can write things down when I need to be. Anyways, symbol MS 109K was the top. Interesting. Hello, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well as well. Has Tether dominance confirmed a trend reversal? How low can Tether dominance go? Really good question here, actually. Really fucking good question. So this is the chart that you are bringing up. Okay, I want to get rid of this because so let's actually do a history lesson here. So what I'm guessing you are alluding to is that this the long-term line has been broken, and therefore, you know, the macro trend is reversed. Well, you know, the monthly trend is already in a downtrend, obviously, right? We do have lower low, lower high. Actually, on the monthly, we do not have. really a major lower low just yet. Actually, we actually do not. It will be below about 375, but no. I'm guessing the hope here is that you're asking if this is going to do this. I don't think it's going to do that. I think what is a lot more likely to happen is kind of this LARP line right here. It plays around its current lows, thus double derping with the prior March lows here, which was obviously the March high or correlated with the March highs in Bitcoin. But I don't think it's going to break down from there. You're already having major drives of bullish divergence on the daily. Weekly will also have it as well here. It already has higher lows on weekly RSI. So to me, this one very likely to bounce first. And I think the bullish view is really something like the LARP line that I just had. It rallies up first, maybe as much as 5%. Shit, I mean, maybe it could even hit like 5.5. But I would be looking for a lower high there. And then come down, roll over, and take out this low. If you see that, okay, mega fucking bull market. Most likely, that has been relationship. And yeah, altcoins probably go to the moon and beyond as well as Bitcoin. But for right now, this area is very likely to rally, very, very likely to rally in kind of the short term, maybe after retesting these lows one more time. So, alts maybe do well when this thing comes back down around like 390, 4%. And then from there, that's going to be kind of like last opportunity before a little bit of a bouquet sandwich for, I think, most things in this market. But yeah. All right, let's move on. Tristram. Hello, sir. Can you tell us how important are Fibonacci retracements in your trading? In my trading, not at all. But in my analysis, very important. They just don't have a component in my in my algos. One, because you can't. Well, you can't really, you can't program Fibonacci retracements, or at least I haven't found a way. So yeah, if I wasn't using a bot to trade, would I incorporate them more? Probably yes. I do think that even though it's not a Fibonacci, the 50% level is extremely important, and scalps can typically be taken off of that, for the short term. But yeah. But great for analysis, it gives you a good indication of kind of where you're at in the grand scheme of things. Cynic says, firstly, let me apologize for my lobotomized question last week. All good. I don't even remember it, man. So it's no problem, man. I'm probably just having fun myself. Hopefully no offense was taken. What is your favorite natural feature in Finland? The water. The water in the air. It's fucking amazing. It really is. The small things are so good here. I love it. Could you cover UFD? 30-minute time frame, please. And have a Merry Pantless Christmas. Merry Pantless Christmas. All right, UFD. Oh, that's Unicorn Fartos. That's the same shit that we looked at before. Yeah, I don't have any real analysis on this mess. Way too new. Looks a little bit better on this exchange, though, I will say. But there's no analysis on my part to be done on something that's been around for 10 days. It's way too new, man. Way too new. I don't trust any indicators or anything there, really. So I don't have a good answer for you. Myth Reindeer says, good day, sir, on this lovely morning. Very nice indeed. When the bear market starts and you want to hold cash, do you think you'll hold it in Tether or any other stables, or will you take it out in actual dollars in your bank? I know it could be based on preference. Yeah, of course. This is 100% preference. But my preference, okay, so, well, okay. I actually have to think of this from multiple ways, because I'm not just in crypto, I'm also in stocks as well, and also real estate. So in stocks, yeah, I'd go back to US dollars, just the easier way to do it. In crypto, unless if I really need the money, which is just not the case, I don't have a reason to go back all the way to cash. So what I'd prefer to do is I'd prefer to actually just go to probably USDC. USDC, while I think Tether is probably fine. We've heard things about Tether and Tether truthers as long as I can remember, since 2016, 2017. And maybe there was even before that as well. Nothing's ever come from that. And when I actually look into the allegations against Tether, they don't really seem like, it just seems like fucking idiots making shit up a lot of the time, to be honest. But of course, none of us know, because none of us can see into a private company's I guess, ledger and figure out what the hell's going on. And probably most of us, myself included, don't even know how to analyze that anyways, because it's very complicated business, accounting and bullshit like that. But just to be safe, I'd probably do USDC. So yeah. Biff the Bear says, "Hey Crown, what's a dream that you're still chasing to this day?" Oh, that's actually a really cool question, man. Money stuff, I'm not super motivated by anymore. Physical stuff I am. So dream that I'm still chasing to this day. I mean, boxing has kind of been it, just because it's a real fucking challenge. Like every time I spar, every time I especially have a match, like these are like serious situations. Like you can get fucking hurt in there. And so for me, the dream is to get decent enough. Obviously I'm not going to be going pro or nothing like that, or even like amateur. I'm not going to be doing any like serious things there. I'm way too old already anyways. But just the dream is that, you know, to compete and to do well for myself. That's really it. Other than that, man, you know, other things that I'm thinking about is just, you know, getting other residencies. I love Finland. I love being here, but not during the winter. So, you know, I'm going to try out new places this upcoming year because I'm kind of done with Dubai. I don't really want to stay there long term anymore. But yeah, it is what it is. All right. Great question, though. Lucky says, Lucky, that's also Elsa's dog. Hope you had a fantastic week, Crown. You as well, sir. Could you look into Japanese yen versus the Swiss franc? Yes. JPY. JOY. Joy. Joy indeed. Yeah, I love looking at Forex. Okay, very clear and obvious downtrend since basically the dawn of time, going back 25 years ago. So you know it's good. Look, you can get rallies here. Problem is, it's a downtrend the whole way. This thing could fucking, and this is a humongous move for Forex, but this thing could, you know, have a 30% move and still be more or less bearish. So it's a problem with shit like this. But what time from, oh yeah, in the monthly, so I'm literally on it already. Yeah, you know, I'm probably looking at this as, you know, I know that you're probably looking at like a double bottom here or something like that. I don't think it's going to hold, man. I do think that this one continues down. The problem with me saying that, however, is that it really would not take too much to get a bounce on this thing. It's going to go to regular. It's not going to make a huge difference. But, you know, if it does bounce, it could bounce all the way up to like 7,000, whatever the hell that number is, which is like a 25% move, but it's still another lower high. I mean, shit, it could bounce all the way up here as well to the 55, and it's still another lower high. That's a 50% move. You know, in the past, when we have seen the quarterly jewel start to turn up, or at least, you know, not have this super strong downside signature here, it has preceded, you know, big bounces. The last time was back here, and before that was this one right here, and this one over here, although less impressive. So, you know, maybe it does try for a bounce here, but just be cognizant that anywhere around this region is just a perfect place for another lower high, and continue on with the long-term macro trend. Cool. Mr. Barash, he says, is your target near 192,000? Well, my target for my channel is 200,000. We're very, very close to it right now. By the way, if you're watching this video and you're not already subscribed, consider like subscribing. It might help. It also helps get these videos into your inbox each and every day. In fact, we're just, let me check right now, 220 people away from 200,000, and we have 3 days left in the year 2024. Can it be done? Nobody knows. But if you're talking about Bitcoin, is my target near that? I do. Okay, I am putting together a video, and I've been researching for the past couple weeks now about my cycle potential targets. And 190, I do believe, is quite close to the most optimistic of targets I have, but I have to double check on that, because it might also be a little bit less than that too. It does, 192,000 seems like a lot, but not impossible. I mean, I think when people start talking about $250,000 in 2025 or 200,000 plus, very unlikely. I mean, if you're gonna get it, it's probably gonna be like a quick wick and then big down slamming move. But yeah, that's just my opinion right now. Anyways, AC says, hey, Crown, KULR stock. Okay. Do we think $10 in 5 years is reasonable based on monthly, weekly outlook? I don't know. KULR. All right. Trades on ARCA. Okay. Very nice move here. That's quarterly. Pretty much at all-time, or yeah, basically all-time highs. Do I think it get to $10 in the next 5 years? Possible, I guess. I mean, it's a pretty strong rally right here. As long as it's above $3.50, upside is the name of the game, and you got plenty of room there. Talking about $10, I mean, it's obviously very, very far away from current price, but I think 770 is going to be a big area of interest, and then 870, and then after that, yeah, $10, I guess, would be an area of interest. But 5 years away, I mean, that's a very long time. Yeah, definitely possible, especially on something that's essentially breaking out to new all-time highs right now. It's not bad. All right. Let's see. Bitcoin Buddy says, Happy New Year, Crown. Can you show us your settings for the indicators that you use? RSI, stochastic, BBWP? No. No, I can. RSI, I do a 14 period on Wilder's RSI, and I have an EMA 12. And for my stochastic, it's 14, 3, and 6. Respectively, just down the board. And then for, I think you said BBWP, I go between two different settings. There's 13 length and 252 look back. I also do 100 look back as well sometimes. I find that that's actually very useful for shorter term trading. Anyways, moving on now, we have Mo Ali. He says, hey, Dad, what do you think about PAAL on the daily? Okay, is this a crypto or a stock? PAAL. Oh, it is indeed a crypto. PAAL AI. What do I think about it on the daily? Kind of similar to what we said in the past with ranging assets right now. You know, this one is ranging. Okay, the top side of the major range is quite far away, and bottom side is obviously somewhere right around here. It is having an uptrend as of right now. In the short term, you know, probably spends a little bit of time going between like 25 cents and that 40-cent high. But, you know, you do have an uptrend on the daily, so not bad there. Of course, the next, I guess, area of interest for just, I guess, getting above, essentially it was last prior high at 41 cents. Would like to see it close above there. And at that point, this thing starts to get confirmed as quote unquote good, very likely to move towards 56 cents, maybe even 67 cents. At that point, I mean, this thing probably just goes on a major run. But yeah, not the strongest thing, not the weakest thing, showing a little bit of short-term strength, relatively speaking. Don't have much to add to it other than that. So I would generally be looking for kind of sideways and up from here, but you know, it can set in higher lows anywhere around 25 cents. It's completely fine, really. All right. Unicord says, Sup Crown, what's up, sir? Check out RUNE USDT on the daily and 5-day. Okay. RUNE chain. Yeah, not good. I do want to see this time frame as well. This one looks like it wants to break down towards 390, 380, something like that. 5-day time frame, same shit here. Yeah, you just hit the top side of the range. Boom. Okay. Now, after hitting the top side of the range, typically you find the middle and then perhaps closer to the lower end of the range. So I do think, you know, it could even come all the way down to like $3.50 and try for a higher low there. But again, like most things in this sort of medium term consolidation, I think you probably have some more downside, but those are I don't think it's going to break down fully. I do think it's going to be a higher low and then kind of trades this way sideways from here. Only really issues if this thing trades below this August low here. That's where, well, it's wrecked. it's wrecked beyond repair. Crypto Sniper says, Crown, be honest. You're behind the Crown Labs marketplace selling derps after brainwashing your audience for many years, right? Now I can't help myself from buying more. I guess this is some sort of, I'm not going to click on it. Again, I don't click on links if I don't know what the fuck it is. But I know that this is an obvious joke, but just for anyone else, I'm not associated with this. I don't know what the fuck this is. Crown Labs. I mean, besides having the same name as myself, there is no relationship. Badlands 811 says, "Hey Crown, been with you since 2020. Fuck yeah, dude. A lot of people from 2020 and 2021 sticking around. That's cool. Can you take a look at Canada Nickel, CNIKF? Okay, CNIKF. Okay, yeah, found it. And here on a daily and a weekly. Okay, well, already very bad. Look, I'm never going to like a chart like this, man. I'm never going to like a chart like this. Hidden bearish evidence on that last, lower high. I mean, it's kind of similar to one of the other like super shitty charts that we saw earlier today. It would not take much to get this thing on a bounce, on even a decent bounce towards like 75 cents, maybe even 85 cents. But, as long as this thing's below the last like major high, which is 115, very fucking far away from here, basically 2x from here, the trend remains intact. And seeing as this thing has really only ever gone down, I would say that that's probably not the greatest sign. The monthly trend seems to be your friend. Well, maybe not your friend if you're along this thing, but I don't think that it's reversing right now. Again, it's got a lot of work to do. Probably bounces relatively soon, but I'll just be looking for lower highs there, man. Okay, let's see. What time are we at? 45 minutes. All right. We're about halfway through the Discord comments now. Probably not going to get through everything, but we'll try. Samurai J says, "Moi, Mr. Crown. Moi, sir. Happy holidays and many orgasms to all." Yes, and you indeed. "You have mentioned that a rejection below 105,000 and a consolidation above 85,000 might mean a longer, more traditional cycle. What would change your mind to make you think that the cycle top is already in?" Oh, this is a really good question. Okay, so hypothetical here. What would have to occur for me to believe that the 108 top right here, or 109 top right here, 108 top right here, is a cycle high and it's done and over with? Okay, despite me thinking that that's unlikely, if I had to make a case for that, I think the most obvious thing to me would be if Bitcoin really comes below, about, let's call it like 80,000 and closes a weekly below there. That would do it for me. I'd say, okay, it's got to be it. It's got to be it. But at minimum, I do think that we're in for a very prolonged sideways consolidation here. You're seeing similar signals on the weekly jewel as you saw back on these last couple places, which preceded major corrections. Whoops, let me go back here. Whoops, there we go. So yeah, that was this correction over here, which took, let me just see how long it took from that signal to next potential breakout was 50 days. This one obviously way longer than that. From that signal to next major breakout was 217 days. But anytime that we've seen the weekly jewel get into this region, it's had corrections, at least like a month and a half, and in some cases much longer. I don't think it's going to be as long in this particular case, but I can obviously be wrong about that. And more importantly, if Bitcoin needs to shake itself out 45 days, I mean, at minimum from essentially last week, like where does that bring us into? That brings us into late January, early February. This thing could be shaking itself off, consolidating, and that can obviously include some sideways and downside price action from here. But again, $80,000 on a weekly closing basis, that's kind of my line in the sand. Below there, I would entertain the possibility. Actually, I wouldn't entertain the possibility. I would say the cycle is over. I would say the cycle is over and just get, I don't know, something weird's fucking happening. Definitely possible. Maybe not high probability though. Part 2, super important and definitely trading related. Your thoughts on Lord of the Rings, The War, the Rohirrim. Okay, you liked it. That's actually really good to hear. I have not seen it yet. I've heard mixed reviews on it, but it's cool to hear that you liked it. I'm not like a huge anime fan, to be honest. So I haven't really been super interested to see it. And also the story, like, okay, so I'm kind of a Tolkien purist, to be honest. And so when they make a story out of a character that literally has a throwaway one-liner in a whole fucking book, I mean, It's like I want to see true to source material, which I did hear that a lot of it was pretty decent. Should you watch the second season of Rings of Power? If if you thought the first season was disappointing, you're going to think the second season is just hilariously disappointing. The second season, in my opinion, actually probably was better than the first, but it's just so poorly done. Like here's how I'd break it down. Even if you ignore the fact that it's much different than the source material, like much different, which is fine for a lot of people, completely fine, and that's that's a preference, obviously. It's just poorly written. Like the lines are fucking dumb. The storyline doesn't make sense in a lot of places. There's lots of plot holes. There's lots of just bullshit that is so not well thought out. And the acting, the actors themselves, I think, are quite good. It's not really their fault, but the casting is so bad. Like the actor for Galadriel, she's fine, but not as Galadriel. She doesn't meet any of the descriptions of it, and it's just they should have just named it something else. It's not Lord of the Rings, or it's not Tolkien, especially. Anyways, I'll get off that topic. RushBiz says ADS, please. Okay, ADS. No time frames given. All right, ADS. Alchemy. Okay. Okay, we have some history here, at least till 2021. Did have a nice move up. It is in a weekly uptrend, so that puts it a cut above many things that we've seen today. This current correction, like I've been saying on most of these things, your current correction can easily drag on more sideways and more down. Just want to pull a fib here and see, I think you probably get another run around 30 cents. Maybe this thing tries for a low there. Maybe it goes a little bit lower towards 26.5 cents. But I do think one of those two major regions is going to be the next major low. And then from there, I look for this thing to try another move to the upside. Yeah. So I'll say about that. Short term, probably a little bit more sideways, probably a little more down, but those are the two areas I'd be looking for on a potential higher low. So you're also asked for SUI, but I do want to limit this to one question per person, just because we're almost near the end here, and I do want to get to as many different people as possible. Mr. Sigap says, Happy New Year to you and Elsa. Good New Year to you as well. Could you check out Blue on the daily and weekly? Okay. Bluefin. Okay. So is it like Bluffin? Way too new here, man. Again, I don't have any real analysis on something that's this new. I don't fucking know. I mean, these things can have major pumps out of nowhere. These things can have major dumps out of nowhere. Just not enough history here. But I mean, for the history that we do have, it's been mostly down. It's just, I don't trust it. I mean, it's like a 4-hour trend. Let's see. Big Bob's. Oh yeah, there was some guy just talking shit here, or he wasn't actually talking shit, but he was just kind of a douchebag and not really interesting. So I banned him. Fuck him. If you say anything I don't like, it's a ban. It's just a ban. There will be no criticisms of me ever. I have a very, very fragile ego, and you will be banned. I remove all criticisms. VC says, "Hey Crown, ENA daily and weekly." Okay, ENA. Okay. Let's go to a daily maybe. Okay. All right. So this one did have a pretty nice move to the upside. Tested, kind of close to the prior all-time high. Close enough, I'd say. Better than most. Coming down now hard, as are most things. I do think that this one could come down actually decently more. Maybe around 77 cents to 69 cents, somewhere around there, and try for a higher low. Short term, you might get bounces here and there, but as long as this thing's below about 115, I would not entertain the possibility of this one even trying for a breakout above 135. Of course, above 135, this thing will very likely march to new all-time highs, but I think you've hit a high here for a long time. Here's weekly BBWP. It's not a whole hell of a lot of history there, but 5-day also extremes, 2-day double extremes, daily same shit. So, short term might try for a bounce, but just beware that that's another lower high. Probably trades lower before anything else. Fair enough. All right. KB says, "Hey Crown, VET weekly and daily. Does this coin have potential to reach all-time highs again, or are you just going to nuke this?" I mean, everything has a possibility, but it just might be a very low probability of it happening. So let's see. Okay, so here's the chart. This thing is trading at 4.5 cents. Its prior all-time high is 26 cents. So that is a 500% move to make new all-time highs, which is your question, I guess. And I would say, does it have a potential? Yes. Is it likely to happen? No. It already even has weekly bearish divergence here. So I do think that this one, like most things, is going to take its time kind of shaking out sideways. Short term, you might get an attempt at a bounce. But any bounce that fails to get back above, 7 cents essentially, it's just that another bounce before, perhaps going a little bit lower. I think you might have actually already seen the low on this thing. I mean, if it does drop any lower, I'd have to be looking at like 3.5 cents, I guess. But, it could look a lot of ways. It could look like this, blip. It could look like that. That would be bad, obviously, but I would be looking for higher lows somewhere in this region here first, which kind of already has gotten into, but maybe another dip into that region could be it. All right, I think we'll do 2 more. Okay. All right, this question looks like it requires some brain power. Hello, Crown. Merry Christmas to you and Elsa. Thanks for all good, ma'am. I'd like to hear your opinion on the scenario below. I have an open position with leverage, which is currently at a loss and close to hit the stop loss / get liquidated. However, I expect with high probability an imminent bounce, but not sure it will recover the position. Okay, so this is a strategy question. And the answer to all strategy questions, always, ever, and without exception, that I can think of for anyone who's moderately serious about trading is you need a fucking strategy predetermined, predefined with all prior components listed, that being your entry, exit, and risk management. And it seems like you do have a risk management criteria already set up, but you don't know if you you expect a bounce, but you're not sure if it'll recover the position. So yeah, as far as your profit taking, you do not have that defined, I'm guessing, which is just as bad as not having your stop loss defined or your risk management defined. Like people a lot of the time say risk management is the most important thing about trade. It's like, no, they actually all are very important because they are related to each other as well. There's entry, exit, and risk management. So your entry, your profit taking, and your loss taking. You need to have all of those priorly defined, and then test those out so that you know what to expect from there, and then just play out that strategy exactly as you have tested it, assuming that the results are to your liking. So in your particular example, I'd say you don't have a fully thought out strategy. Thus, that's where your issue is. As far as your current position, what would I suggest? Well, I don't know what the token is that you're looking at. I would take the loss just because I feel like I'd be flying blind. I don't fucking know, what's happening with your thing, and I don't know what your strategy is. Now, of course, or you hopefully have an idea what your strategy is, but do you think it would be wise to DCA in the position to lower the entry? Absolutely fucking not. Yeah, this does show that you have not done the actual strategy creation portion of this. This is why I favor, obviously, the tools that we do have, like Quant Prime over here, because, well, all of these things must be defined in advance so that, the alg can play it out as you desire. So, yeah. All right. Okay. Maybe just a couple more here. We're almost near the bottom. How about 0x0 crown? Would be nice. Okay, that's one way to ask a question, I guess. 0x0. Who knows what the hell this thing is? Not the worst of all time. Did hit a major high right here, obviously. But after hitting a major high, I'd like to find a major low. Let's see. Maybe it swipes at around 22.5 cents again, these lows from last week, but give it a chance there. If it does want to trade lower than 17 cents, where I'd be looking for on another higher low. If it follows what most things are doing, it'll come all the way back down to 15 or 17 cents. But it is holding up relatively well over here. I don't really have any other opinions on this, though. All right. Zika says CWEB 4-hour weekly. All right, we'll do these last two. CWEB. CoinWeb. Bad and worse. Just bad, man. Really fucking bad. Like most of the shitcoins that we've seen today, I mean, these things can have pops out of nowhere, but down is a direction, man. Down is a direction. Just garbage. Garbage. Hot garbage. Not even hot garbage. Just garbage. Just a dumpster fire. Which is actually hot, to be fair. But yeah. There is no threat of a reversal into an actual uptrend, which this thing is never known anyways, as long as it's below, especially like 3 cents. That's quite the move from where it currently is at, actually. 700% move just to potentially have a higher term time frame reversal. Not fucking good, man. All right. Last one from Rano Sano. Oh, there's a really good one after this as well. Right. I'll do these last two, but then that's it. Rano Sano says, hey, Kron, can you elaborate on how you hedge your HODL stack? Well, there's multiple ways to do it, but I think the easiest way is simply just take a leveraged short position against it. At least that's how I cover it. If I want to cover it, and I only do that if there is either a confirmed bear market or very close to confirming a bear market. And how do I confirm that? Weekly trend. So if the weekly comes down and makes a lower low, that's when I start to consider the likelihood. And then after it makes a lower low, obviously there's typically a bounce. And on that next potential lower high, that's where I really want to get like my actual short hedge in. All right. Tom says, I remember a while ago watching a video of yours about quantum moments, and I think about it every so often, such as when I just missed a good shitcoin and wish I bought. Those quantum moments haunt me. I know what you mean there, but that is actually really not the type of example I wanted to promote for that video. Do you have any more reflections such as these moments on such moments in general, or maybe how to tune into these moments more closely, or to realize when such an opportunity arises? Yeah, I think that's actually the better portion to get onto, because new reflections that I've had, I most of my new reflections are kind of rediscovering old ones, and just realizing that things are a lot more simple than what we think. And it's really just repeating a lot of like the really fundamental behaviors when it comes to trading or investing. But yeah, okay, so how do you tune into these moments more closely? So let me first explain this. Quantum moments. Quantum moments on that video I explained as these decisive moments in your life and in trading, obviously, where you can make one of two or more decisions, and all of these different decisions set you on different paths. It's like taking different doors and you can't get back to the prior door. In a way, because the way that our brain works is that when we do one behavior, it becomes a lot easier to repeat. Thus, we, continue to kind of go down that route. The neuronal pathways in our brain that get etched in, it just becomes easier to repeat. So that is why habit really is like, our habits really are who we are. But yeah, as far as tuning into these moments and recognizing them, it really comes down, in my experience, to that fucking ephemeral term, mindfulness, which I think you can practice as like a muscle by meditating. And meditating is simply just focusing on the present moment. So just literally being where you are, not thinking about all of the million different things that could be going on in your head, and focusing on the here and now. There's much better books and much better people to teach you about this sort of stuff than myself, but that's the way that I understand it, and that's the key to recognizing when these situations occur. So I'll give you an example. If you can be mindful, like when this usually happens when you're in an emotional state. So, you enter into a position and the position immediately goes against you, and you're supposed to take your loss at that moment because your risk management criteria was hit. Well, in that moment, we're typically, if you're doing this manually, especially emotional, we don't like taking losses, of course. And so that emotional state can directly block you from getting into the mindful or logical state in which you can recognize that I can either close the position here as I am supposed to, based off of my strategy that I've tested, or I can hold on to it and go down this completely other path where, one, I'm going to lose money on this trade, but also I'm going to make it even more difficult for myself in the future to follow my plan because I don't have a good history or track record of doing it. Thus, my brain is literally focused on not going where I want to go. So yeah, it comes down to mindfulness and recognizing when you're in that emotional state. How do you recognize when you're in an emotional state? Well, by mindfulness, which is kind of a circular reason right there, which is not super helpful, but which I totally recognize. But that's your job as a trader, is to recognize when you are feeling that way and to not give into it and to not essentially be weak. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And I think that term speaks a lot more directly to men. You know, when you give in to these emotional whims, you're being fucking weak. You are. I mean, it really just is that. I know that's a strong thing to say, and that can piss some people off for sure. But, you know, who do you think is a stronger person? The person who doesn't give into their emotions or the person who does? Obviously, you know the answer. So, yeah, man, don't be weak. You don't even have to be strong, but being strong is just being present and recognizing these sort of things and just playing out your plan, which anyone can do. You don't need to be a fucking genius to play out your plan, right? Like, you can be the biggest idiot, but if you have the directions in front of you, like a bot, you know, the bots are fucking idiots, but when they have the directions in front of them, they just play out those directions. You can do that. Anyways, and that'll get you the same success, you know? Anyways, that is what we'll end things for today. We're 105 into this one. A pretty good one. I'm really enjoying these trading related questions that are not like just chart requests, but of course, you know, you're more than welcome to join in with those as well. But this last one, I really, really liked, causing me to have to think, and that's good. Anyways, yeah, that's what we'll end things for today. Again, if you want to join in on the next Q&A session, all you need to do is just join the Discord link in the description below. Find your way over here to the weekly Q&A section on Discord and post whatever the fuck you want to ask. Can't promise I have an answer for everything, obviously, but I'll do my best if I can. So yeah, that's where we'll end things for today. As always, I want to wish everyone the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully next time.